All right, let's go to Friday night in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts here. We've got Louisville and Boston College in the ACC. Louisville, 7-point road favorites, 53.5 the total in this game. Boston College, again, done in last week in that game by turnovers. I mean, turnovers, mistakes. I mean, Thomas
and they got ran on.
He's got to hang on to this ball, man. Ball security with that guy continues to be a big-time problem, and we saw it again last week against Virginia Tech in that Thursday night game. Crazy game, right? They look like they're done at halftime, down 28-0, and then you turn the game back on an hour later like I did while I was watching the Bronco-Saint game that night and the baseball, hockey, everything else, and whoa, it's 28-21. It's a game again. Like Boston College comes all the way back, makes it interesting, and then it was a 14-point unanswered fourth quarter for Virginia Tech to finally put that game away. They're going to have nightmares about Bashal Tutton there for Virginia Tech. He just destroyed that BC run defense. 266 rushing yards for Tutton in that game against Boston College. Not exactly the run defense Boston College was hoping for. Let's see how they bounce back here. They've kind of a team that they surprised people early. They beat Michigan State. They hung tough with Missouri, but now that's 0-4 ATS, by the way, BC, their last 4 games, and back-to-back double-digit losses in conference to Virginia and Virginia Tech. So I'm worried about where this team's trending right now, but I can't say I'm running a lay 7 on the road with Louisville either going into this game. And I'll say this for BC's defense. Yeah, they've been shredded on the ground the last couple weeks, but
that was it.
The pass defense is actually not terrible for Boston College, and that plays into the strength of that plays well against what Louisville's better at. Louisville is not a great run team, but they can throw the football with Tyler Shuck, who's had a very good season. But you got to question this spot for Louisville. Am I liking BC's form? No. Am I liking that they've failed to cover in 4 straight? No. But Louisville is now going on the road to the Northeast on a Friday night on a short week after just expending the gas tank, expending all the energy that they did, put everything into the Miami game that they could, and to fall short, not get a stop when it mattered. And that was the difference, right? The Louisville offense did enough. There was a lot of good things from Tyler Shuck in the passing game against Miami, but they just could not get a freaking stop against that Miami offense last week for Louisville. And the defense, Connor Mack, continues to be a problem for Louisville. 52 points allowed against Miami. Remember what SMU's defense did to them? 34 points when SMU beat Louisville a few weeks ago. That defense is leaky, and I like Shuck in the offense, but that defense is leaky, and it's leaky enough. I'm not laying 7 on the road with them here in this spot, coming off the tough, hard-fought loss to Miami last week. I feel like I'm glutton for punishment, but I'm leaning Boston College again here. +7 home underdogs in this spot. C-Mac, what do you think?
Sometimes you got to put it behind you, Babana, and it's tough because, the fumbles were just dreadful. And the other thing that really hadn't been seen really all year, they ran all over. Yeah. It's a big, they ran for 300-something yards.
Yeah.
Wow. They didn't give that up to Missouri, nothing like that bad. They just killed. But the fumbles were just, took them right out of that game.
T-Mac, Virginia Tech is starting to look like a monster the last few weeks.
Looking better, yeah.
Stanford game, the Miami game they should have won. And then last week, what they did to BC. Yep.
I guess in content, I guess in the AC, they are.
Up Virginia Tech tenfold the last few weeks.
For sure. Louisville, look, the over was really nice and easy in the Miami game, but I ended up taking Louisville. I took a little bit in game 2, 11.5 while they were down. And it came down to mistake. Miami a little bit better. Both those teams just moved the ball up and down. There was 0 stops. I talked about all year that the numbers on Louisville's defense was fake. It was just kind of who they play. This team, the defense isn't great.
100%.
Yeah, definitely. And Shuck did what he wanted to. A couple bad turnovers, missed field goal. Then you're down by 14. They bring it all the way back, and they get stopped once. That's all it takes is kind of one stop in those shootouts. And they're down by 14, having to scramble back in that game. They scored the late touchdown. So, but Boston College, you mentioned the defense a little bit better against the pass. Louisville, this is a dangerous spot. They play Clemson on deck at Clemson. And I hate to say it, I might have to be on BC again here. I know after just how ugly that foot. They like one thing we can't do when we cap these games, like refs, penalties, and turnovers.
For Louisville, though, it's a brutal spot coming off.
It's a brutal spot. Yeah. So I mean, this is BC. I'm gonna have to be on it. It's maybe this was the spot I should have been on and waited last week. But when games like that, they hadn't really turned it over. And that's what I was just saying. We can't really handicap a game where they have 4 or 5 turnovers and penalties. It's just shit like that with refs. So yeah, this is BC. I just have to do it. And you know what? Before last week with Miami, Louisville just hasn't covered the number too. I faded them a couple of weeks before. Virginia, they didn't cover, and the week before that with SMU. That's 4 straight. They haven't covered.
This is, and I know Louisville beat them up last year, 56-28. I get that. But the last time at BC was a 14-point dog. They won outright, 34-33.
The home teams have been just trading off here in the series.
Yep. And BC actually overall has covered 7 of the last, or 9 of the, or no, I'm just doing the math here. 6-3 for BC against the spread versus Louisville.
And the over in this series has been crazy.
Yeah.
So
I would lean over.
Maybe we get points.
I would. Yeah. I would lean over. I just I do worry because Louisville's got an offense. There's no doubt about that. But Louisville's defense, has just not been great. I lean over. I like BC though. I'm going to go to the well with BC. This is one of those games where look, this spot is yours. It's a great spot for you. It's a negative spot for your opponent. And if you don't show up and with a better game and be at least competitive here, we got to reevaluate the trajectory of this BC team and Bill O'Brien the rest of the season. If they don't have something better. And plus they have the extra time too. They played Thursday last week. And meanwhile, here's Louisville after the huge Miami showdown, and then that took a lot out of them. And now they got to play Friday and travel. So yeah, it's set up perfectly on a silver fucking platter for BC. It's now they got to get the job done.